There is a sound you have been listening for your whole life. Maybe you have caught it before, in a quiet moment, in a verse that suddenly came alive, in a thought that was kinder and clearer than your own, and maybe you wondered whether it was really him. So here is a question worth sitting with. What if the voice you are straining to recognize today is the very same voice you will one day see, face to face, standing in a crowd so vast that no one can count it? We live in a strange kind of famine. We have never had more information about God and never felt less sure that He speaks to us personally. People scroll past 1,000 opinions about the Almighty and still whisper the oldest question in the human heart. Does God have anything to say to me? A book released this year by Destiny Image answers that question with a steady yes. Secrets to Hearing God's Voice by Dale Mast rests on one promise Jesus made about His own people. In John chapter 10, He said it plainly, "My sheep hear my voice, not the prophets only, not the pastors only. The sheep, all of them." So hold two pictures in your mind. In the first, an ordinary believer is learning, slowly, sometimes clumsily, to recognize the voice of God in the middle of an ordinary week. In the second, an uncountable multitude stands before the throne of God, from every nation and language, worshiping the one they finally see. Here is what I want you to consider today. Those are not two different stories. They are the beginning and the end of the same one. Start with the beginning. Mast's central conviction is that hearing God is not reserved for spiritual giants. It is the birthright of every son and daughter, as natural, he says, as a child recognizing a parent's voice across a crowded room. But Jesus said something else in that same passage, and it is easy to rush past. The sheep follow the shepherd, he said, because they know his voice, and they will not follow a stranger, because they do not know the voice of strangers. To know the shepherd's voice is also to recognize the voice that is not his. This is why discernment in this book is never presented as suspicion. It is intimacy. You do not learn to recognize a loved one's voice by studying it like a stranger. You learn it by spending years close enough to hear it. Familiarity is the whole training. You learn his voice the way you learn the voice of anyone you love, by staying near. So if you have been waiting to feel qualified before you listen, hear this. You learn his voice the way you learn anyone's voice you love, by drawing near, getting it wrong sometimes, and staying close anyway. The goal was never to be impressive. The goal was always to be near. Now let me show you what that same careful listening looks like when it is aimed at the scriptures themselves. A teacher who had preached the book of Revelation for decades went back in retirement to one passage he thought he understood, the great multitude of Revelation chapter 7, and realized he had been hearing it too quickly. For years he had simply assumed the uncountable crowd in white robes was the same group as the martyrs described one chapter earlier. But when he slowed down and compared the two carefully, the differences were striking. The martyrs are beneath the altar. The multitude stands before the throne. The martyrs cry out for justice. The multitude cries out in praise. The martyrs are being counted until the number is complete. The multitude is a crowd no one can count. His point was not mainly about end times charts. It was about a habit of the mind. Just because one thing is written after another does not mean the first one caused the second. We assume. We fill the gap with the tidy answer we were handed, and we can miss what the text is actually saying because we were listening to our assumption instead of the words. Now, honest people who love the same Bible read the timing of these chapters differently, and that humility matters. The reward here is not a finished diagram of the future. It is the posture, slow down, weigh what is written, and let the author correct what you were sure you already knew. That is exactly the discernment Dale Mast is teaching. Turn toward the page. And both roads lead to the same room. In one of the book's prayer exercises, Mast points to a single line from Revelation chapter 4. Come up here, and I will show you things. It invites the reader, through worship, to come up into the throne room of God where the Father can speak. That is the very throne room the old teacher was standing in front of in Revelation 7. A multitude from every nation and tribe and people and tongue in white robes who serve him, the text says, day and night. The voice you are learning to recognize in the quiet of this week is the voice of the one that whole ocean of people will worship forever. This is why, at Nori Media Group, we keep returning to the same conviction. The God who still speaks is not handing out party tricks to a gifted few. He is teaching a family to know his voice now, so that the harvest gathered by that voice can stand one day before his throne. The same shepherd, the same voice, today and forever. If you want to learn to recognize that voice for yourself, Dale Mast's Secrets to Hearing God's Voice is a practical place to begin. You'll find it through the link below. And before you go, leave a comment and tell us about a time you sensed God might have something to say and weren't sure it was Him. We'd love to hear it.